환영합니다. Welcome to K-Culture Dive, where we dive deeper into the heart of Korean culture with K-entertainment issues, AI culture news, and today our weekly K-sports segment. And I'm your host, Kwon So-ah. Let's dive in. Joining me this Tuesday is our co-host Bella Kim in the studio. Hello, Bella.
Hi, Soa, and hello to everyone joining us today on K-Culture Dive. I'm Bella, back again to co-host and fill you guys in with the latest in K-entertainment.
So, Bella, let's kick off with K-entertainment news. Now, yesterday, Walter delivered us the news of K-pop Demon Hunters receiving 2 Golden Globes.
Right.
And in that regard, we have a special message.
Yes, indeed. A very special message from President Lee Jae-myung of South Korea sent a congratulatory message after the Netflix animated film K-pop Demon Hunters won 2 awards at the Golden Globes Awards. Now, President Lee posted a message on his X account on Monday, writing, "Congratulations, I hope our culture will continue to receive even greater love on the global stage." And K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Original Song and Best Animated Feature, a first for an animation by Korean director to win at the Golden Globes.
All right, let's continue with K-pop, Bella. We have an exciting story on a boy group, or maybe I should say a unit.
That's correct. NCT Wish is continuing its global rise by significantly expanding its first ever solo concert tour. The group has launched its debut tour titled NCT Wish First Concert Tour Into the Wish Our Wish, meeting fans across major cities in Asia. And due to overwhelming demand, the tour has grown far beyond its original plan, now covering 18 cities with a total of 30 shows. The tour officially kicked off here in Incheon last October and will continue in Hong Kong, Bangkok, Jakarta, and other major cities across Asia.
Now, fans must be really excited to see them, to get more chances to see them, of course. And Bella, we will end with an update on NewJeans.
Former NewJeans member Danielle spoke directly with fans for the first time since the agency Adore terminated her contract with them. Now, she made her first official public message through a live stream on her new SNS channel on Monday. Speaking directly to NewJeans' official fan base, bunnies, Danielle emphasized that she had made every effort to remain with the group. While circumstances have placed her in a different position, she said her feelings toward the group have not changed. And during the live stream, Danielle also thanked fans for their continued support. And in regards to legal matters, she did not address any specifics, saying many issues remain unresolved. While she appeared visibly emotional at times, Danielle told fans she has no regrets and does not view the current situation as a conclusion. Last month, Adore announced that they have terminated contract with Danielle, with other members. Haerin, Hain, and Hani agreed to return to the agency, and discussions are still ongoing with Minji. The agency also filed a lawsuit against Danielle seeking 43.1 billion won, that's about $31 million in penalties and damages.
And because this is quite a big lawsuit, there have been mixed responses regarding that live broadcast. Some saying that she didn't address the core of the issues, but again, others saying that she wanted to express her gratitude to her fans.
Right.
So keep us updated, Bella, and thanks for today's updates.
Welcome.
And now it's time to turn to our AI anchor, Arang, for more on the culture front. Arang, over to you.
Thanks, Swa. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. Riding the wave of the K-culture boom, sales of cultural merchandise at Korea's National Museum surged to a new record last year. According to the National Museum Foundation of Korea, annual sales of its museum merchandise brand, NewJeans, surpassed 41.3 billion won, or more than $28 million in 2025, nearly doubling from the year before. NewJeans features Korea's traditional culture-inspired products developed from the collections of the National Museum of Korea and its affiliated regional museums. The foundation is stepping up its push into overseas markets by deepening partnerships with international museums and leveraging major global events, including the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics. Jeju Island is stepping up efforts to promote the unique culture of Jeju Haenyeo worldwide, marking the 10th anniversary of its inscription on UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List. The Jeju provincial government convened an innovation growth meeting on Monday to discuss key measures, including ways to link the globalization of Haenyeo culture with the government's broader economic growth strategy. Jeju Governor Oh Young-hun urged the expansion of Haenyeo-related global initiatives, including plans to build a National Haenyeo Heritage Center. The culture of Jeju Haenyeo was added to UNESCO's list in 2016, and earlier this month, the term Haenyeo was also included in the Oxford English Dictionary. The residence of the Divine Bell of King Seongdeok, a national treasure and one of Korea's most iconic cultural artifacts, is being stably preserved, according to a recent analysis. The Gyeongju National Museum said sound tests conducted in September last year confirmed the bell's acoustic and vibrational stability. The bell had been strictly protected from being struck for years due to concerns over cracks and damage, but was sounded again last year for the first time in 22 years during the test. Completed in the year 771 during the Unified Silla period, the bell is regarded as a masterpiece for its distinctive tone, elaborate patterns, and refined craftsmanship. That's all from me. Keep it tuned to K-Culture Dive.
A new cookie is the talk of the town here in Korea, with people braving the cold and standing in line for hours to get a taste of this chewy Dubai chocolate cookie, more widely known here as 두쫀쿠. Our culture correspondent Park Gun-woo was there as well, and much to my envy, got to try it.
Long lines stretch in front of a cozy cafe in Seoul, despite the freezing weather. There's still time left before it opens, but what are they waiting for? It's the Dubai mochi-like cookie, the so-called 두쫀쿠, behind Korea's latest dessert craze. The treat features Dubai chocolate filled with pistachio spread, mixed with kataifi, wrapped in a marshmallow coating that gives it its signature texture. The first customer in line says she arrived an hour before opening just to get one.
I really love it, so I try to get to places as soon as they open when I have a day off, like today. I once got a bit complacent and thought I could take my time. I ended up getting there too late and missed out.
But even for those who arrive early, buying as much as they want isn't an option, as strict per-person limits are in place due to high demand. And in just 20 minutes, it's all sold out, leaving many customers empty-handed.
It was a little less disappointing, as they had other similar options. I think I'll either look for other places on social media, or, since it's hard to buy, maybe I'll try making it myself.
This 두쫀쿠 was ridiculously hard for me to get, but I have it here with me now finally, so I must give it a try. The outside is so chewy, the inside crispy and crunchy at the same time. But one thing you must be aware of is this cocoa powder all over your mouth. The price usually ranges from $3 to $5, but some versions sell for nearly $7 and even higher. While consumers have raised concerns about the high price, sellers say there's a reason.
Ingredients like pistachios and kataifi are very expensive to source, and we price things with a minimal margin. I even call suppliers day and night to ask if they have extra stock. I even tell them I will go pick it up myself or pay more to secure it.
Despite sellers struggling to keep up with demand, some worry this dessert trend may fade faster than expected, like previous dessert crazes in Korea, such as tangoru.
Dessert trends like this tend to be short-lived, often about 1 or 2 years. While this cookie remains competitive as a reimagined version of Dubai chocolate, consumer interest is likely to shift when a more delicious, visually striking, or novel dessert emerges.
She added that for this reason, it will be crucial for business owners to carefully consider their decisions before starting any related businesses. Park Gun-woo, Arirang News.
Time now to dive into the world of K-sports. Football, baseball, tennis, figure skating. Lots to cover today. And for that, we've got our sportscaster Jason Lee in the studio. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, the Asian Football Confederation's Under-23 Championship is currently underway in Saudi Arabia. And how is Team Korea doing so far?
Yeah, so far, they've had a couple of games already. They've got another game tonight. And, you know, they had what I would call a disappointing scoreless draw in their first contest against Iran last Wednesday. And then a 4-2 win against Lebanon on Saturday. That game was actually quite an adventure as well. But, you know, that means that they're currently in first place in Group C, but they still have a must-win game tonight against Uzbekistan to guarantee themselves of a berth in the quarterfinal round. See, Uzbekistan also has a win and a draw. Iran has 2 draws. So Korea, you know, if they were to lose and Iran were to win, well, Korea would be out. So they really need at least a draw tonight, but a win is really the sure way to make sure that they advance to the next round. And again, that game tonight against Uzbekistan, that will be at 8:30 p.m. Korean time. And, you know, not a lot of people will have recognized some of the names on the under-23 team just yet. But, you know, neither were Ki Sung-young or Gu Ja-chul before they led Korea to the bronze medal in the London Olympics back in 2012. So who knows if Kim Tae-won or Kang Sung-jin, Kim Hak-young, if these guys turn out to be the stars of the Korean national team in the years to come.
Right. That's going to be a very exciting game this evening.
Yes, very important.
We'll be cheering and crossing fingers. And now shifting to baseball, Korea has begun their training camp for the World Baseball Classic, which will be held in March now. I heard there were some interesting stories regarding possibility of Korean Americans representing the country this year.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. It's been talked about quite a bit recently, and it's not set in stone just yet. But the way the WBC works is that you can represent your country of birth or citizen, but you can also, if you choose, represent the country of either of your birth parents and where they were born. So I've said before that I think Korea is in a little bit of a talent lull compared to years past. And it's possible that Korea could employ a few major league players with connections to Korea. So some of the players that are being considered right now include Detroit Tigers outfielder Jahmai Jones, St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Riley O'Brien, as well as Atlanta Braves pitcher Dane Dunning, who are all Americans with Korean mothers. Another possibility is Seattle Mariners outfielder Rob Refsnyder, who was born in Korea, but then he was adopted by American parents at a young age. So he's been in overseas playing in Major League Baseball since. If any of these players represent Korea, however, it actually wouldn't be the first time that Korea has had a non-Korean represent them at the World Baseball Classic. Another biracial Korean, Tommy Edman, who has a Korean mother, he recently just won 2 straight World Series with the LA Dodgers, and he played for Korea at the previous event 3 years ago. But he's not going to be available for this year's team because he recently had ankle surgery to repair himself. So he is out. But some of these other players are possibilities. And I would say in particular, the pitchers, I think, could be very helpful.
Well, let's see how the roster takes shape. And now, Jason, we're going to move on to tennis. Tennis fans in Korea were treated, to say the least, on the weekend in Incheon, watching a game of the 2 best players in the world. Tell us more.
Absolutely. And yeah, perhaps not just the 2 best players in the world, but I mean, you could argue that these are the 2 best players of this next generation. They might be the best players for the next 10, 15 years. Of course, I'm talking about Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, who actually both made their first ever visit to Korea. They played in front of around 15,000 fans and definitely entertained everyone in attendance. Alcaraz, who is ranked #1 in the world, took the match in straight sets, 7-5, 7-6. I might add, however, though, that each of those sets were very close. It was a back and forth game, and I think certainly Jannik did a great job as well. There's a good chance that we're actually going to see these 2 meet in the finals of the Australian Open, which actually starts next weekend in Melbourne. If you look back to the history, in particular, particular the last 2 years, when it comes to Grand Slam events on the ATP Tour, the two of these players have won every single Grand Slam event, all 8 of them, between the two of them. And in most cases, they actually met each other in the finals. So when you talk about tennis rivalries, these guys are easily the 2 best in the world. And like I said, most likely for the next, I would say, decade, I think we can look forward to. And the people that went to Incheon to check out this exhibition match certainly got their money's worth.
Right, and I heard that it was like sold out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just like that.
So sad I couldn't get my hands on one of the tickets. And now we want to talk about Olympics. The Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina is now less than 4 weeks away. And you're continuing to introduce us the Korea medal hopefuls. So today, who would you like to introduce to us?
Let's talk some figure skating. You know, when it comes to figure skating, hey, everyone knows Kim Yeon-ah. You know, of course, she won the gold medal in Vancouver back in 2010. She had to settle for, let's call it a controversial silver medal at the Sochi Olympics in 2014. But since then, really, no one has carried the torch for Korea in figure skating. But that might all change at these Olympics in Italy. Cha Jun-hwan has been a figure skating prodigy in Korea for quite some time now, even competing at the Pyeongchang Games in 2018 as a 15-year-old. He placed second at the World Championships in 2023. He's kind of been up and down since then. He's had a lot of issues with his skate boot in actuality, which has caused some problems. But he has clearly shown the potential to medal, possibly even win the gold medal, but he is going to have to put together a top performance if he wants to top the likes of Ilya Malinin, who is probably the favorite going in right now to Italy.
Well, now speaking of Kim Yeon-ah then, Jason, what about the women? I mean, probably Kim Yeon-ah inspired so many girls to, you know, do the same as her. So do you have any like hopefuls there?
Yeah, you know, I can tell you, going to ice rinks, certainly in the winter as of late as well, taking my kids to the rink, I can tell you that it's filled with girls practicing figure skating, coaches all over the place. So it's clearly figure skating is on the rise from a participatory standpoint. When it comes to competition, I mean, obviously, Kim Yeon-ah, she's inspired so many to want to get into figure skating, but things haven't worked out on the biggest stage for the top Korean figure skaters as of yet. Kim Chae-yeon, she did place third at the World Championships in 2024, but she's dealt with injury issues since then. And again, a right ankle injury basically derailed her season this past year. She did compete in Korea's recent national championship, but she had to settle for a 9th place finish, largely part due to that injury. So she was actually left off of Korea's entry for the Olympics, despite being third in the World Championships just a year ago. However, Lee Hae-in, she won the silver medal at the World Championships in 2023. She will be one of the 2 Korean females to compete in Italy. And again, she may not be entering this Olympics as the favorite, but she definitely does have the ability to be a dark horse. I think she's within striking distance from an ability, talent standpoint to be able to medal. Perhaps if she gets lucky, challenge for the gold. But you never know. All it takes is a couple of the favorites to fall in one of their programs and to have a good program in the end. Either of these skaters could lead Korea to a top medal.
Well, let's hope for that to happen. And I do remember, Jason, how you did mention Kim Chae-yeon before.
Yeah. And
that there are many hopes for her to grow. So those injuries, I really hope do not happen. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
The one thing I'll quickly say, though, is with Kim Chae-yeon as well as Lee Hae-in, both are like, I think, 2021. So even if things were not to work out at these Olympics in Italy, who knows, maybe even 4 years down the road, they should both be young enough to compete at the highest levels once again. So again, I mean, we're going to be hopeful. We'll see what happens this time around. But at the same time, even if things aren't ideal, maybe 4 years down the road, they'll still be in their prime.
Let's see. And I mean, medal or not, figure skating is always fun to watch.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And thank you very much, Jason, for those updates. Looking forward to next week.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to have you back here on Thursday.
Yes, I'll see you back on Thursday.
And thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving.